Logan Thompson is skating once again after dealing with a lower body injury for nearly 2 months now. Reports are coming out that Logan Thompson is back to skating and quite potentially could be returning to play very, very soon. So, with that being said, I want to go over exactly what it means for the Vegas Golden Knights to get back Logan Thompson, how soon we could see him return, and whether his return will be an immediate impact or how exactly are you going to get him back into the rotation. So with all that being said, I want to first kind of start with what his timeline looks like. So when he originally got injured, it was a week-to-week injury, and we weren't really sure how long it'd be. Now it's been close to about a month and a half, almost 2 months now, and we've finally started to get some good reports coming out. Lately, it's reported after, not the most recent game, but the game before that, news came out that he was skating once again. And if you take a look at the Vegas Golden Knights injury report via CBS, it looks like Logan Thompson expected to be out until at least March 23rd. Now, that of course is going to put you at next week around Thursday, so another week from this point. And in all honesty, it will probably get pushed back just a little bit further. I'd assume you'd want the first game that he plays to be at home, just so he can get back in the groove of some things. That just makes the most sense to me personally. Now, with that being said, there are reports here, of course, as you can see behind me, that Laurent Brossoit should be returning somewhere around March 19th, as well as Adin Hill returning somewhere around March 19th. Now, of course, that's just 2 days away, of course, being Sunday's game against the Blue Jackets would be their potential return timeline, and that would get you back in the mix where Jari Patera could get moved back down to the Henderson Silver Knights. You would have Brossoit, Adin Hill, and then, of course, Jonathan Quick. Now, Jonathan Quick started off great 4-0, but after last night's game, it sure looked rough out there. So being able to get Adin Hill, being able to get Laurent Brossoit back is going to make a huge difference, and hopefully you can get Logan Thompson back. Now, we looked at when their timeline is to get back, and I'm happy that Brossoit and Hill are going to be back, so you don't have to get Thompson back in and force him to play a bunch of games in a row in preparation. The next thing I want to look at here is exactly what are the Vegas Golden Knights getting back once they get Logan Thompson. So let's kind of take a look at his stats. It's been a while since we've seen him play. Time for a refresher. Now, as we all know, Logan Thompson was an all-star and was performing at an extremely high level for the better part of the year. Already having played 36 games, which is a lot, especially for the fact that he's missed almost a month, 2 months now. 36 games, a 20-13 win-loss record. Now, definitely not phenomenal, but very, very high level of play right there. And you have seen Adin Hill and Jonathan Quick and guys like this come through with wins and maybe even have better percentages, win-loss record. But it's hard to look at Logan Thompson's stats and not realize how great he has been. You want to take a look at his goals against average. It's a 2.66. His save percentage is a 9.14, and he has 2 shutouts in the amount of time that he's played. Now, if we pull up my secondary file right here, we can see, and you guys probably can't because how small it is, over here, that 2.66 goals against average is 16th in the league. The 9.14 save percentage is 13th in the league, and 2 shutouts puts him at 13th, even though he's missed some time. That's some very, very good numbers. Now, Adin Hill, I do believe, ranks above him in goals against average and potentially even save percentage at this current moment, but that's coming with playing less games and consistently playing against worse teams. Now, that's no diss to Adin Hill, but when you have Logan Thompson, when you had him for the first part of the year, he was playing against some of the best teams. When you had teams like the Leafs, the Bruins, some of the best teams in the league, you were putting Logan Thompson out there. So Adin Hill, when he was playing some of the lower teams so that Logan Thompson could get some rest. So that did influence his numbers. Now, of course, since Thompson got injured, Hill's numbers have still been excellent. Now, he's been dealing with injuries. He's missed close to a month now. He was injured. He returned right on the time that Thompson got injured. Adin Hill was back for like a week or two, and then he got hurt again. But you have 2 really, really good goalies, and I don't want to go too far into it. I think both these goalies are incredible, but this video does primarily pertain to Logan Thompson, and I'm very happy that Adin Hill's gonna be returning. He's put up some excellent numbers for this Vegas Golden Knights team, as well as Brossoit. Brossoit played 3 games this year, I want to say. I believe so. And his numbers were excellent. Of course, Jonathan Quick had really, really good numbers up until last night's game. Last night's game, I got the hiccups, was absolutely brutal for him, allowing in 6 goals, technically speaking, because the one was on empty netter. Horrendous for that to occur. Now, all of those weren't on him, if we're being honest. Some of those were just unlucky bounces, going off people's skates, going off his back shoulder, stuff like that, but he did allow in a whole lot of goals. But hopefully getting Logan Thompson back, getting Adin Hill back could be a huge thing. So I want to take a look at kind of the times table. We see March 23rd is the appropriate timeline. I don't think they're going to rush him back. So let's take a look at the schedule right now. As we sit, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 games left in the regular season, with, of course, a really, really good shot at winning the Western Conference. So you want to give Logan Thompson a chance to get his legs back underneath him when he is playing, so he can get prepared for the playoffs and get ready and get back to top form, because he's going to be a little bit out of hockey shape. That's just bound to happen. So you want to get him back into the groove, but you don't want to overplay him. You have goalies, Hill, Thompson, Quick, Brossoit, that can separate this pretty evenly, and then when the time comes in the playoffs, you have a couple options, but you're probably going to lean on 1 or 2 guys more than splitting it through 3, 4 guys, which you technically could do right now. So let's kind of take a look right here. Next game is going to be on Sunday against the Blue Jackets. I think the worst team in the league at this current moment, standing wise. So expect to see somebody. And I know we saw that Brossoit and Adin Hill could return around this time. I don't think you're going to rush them back, especially this is the start of a road. I think you travel through Canada the next 3 or 4 games here. So you maybe don't want to rush them back. I'd expect that you're going to see a guy like Jonathan Quick or something like that for that Blue Jackets game. After that, you're going to have the Canucks. Then you're going to have the Flames, who you just lost to 7-2. I could see the Flames. Of course, the Flames game is on the 23rd, which is going to put that right at that deadline for when Logan Thompson could return. The soonest timeline for his return would be on the 23rd. Now, that could be a really, really good game to get him back into things, but also I could almost see them leaning into putting Logan Thompson back on a little bit easier of a game. That way, he can kind of get used to things without a bunch of shots coming towards him. And then you have the Oilers twice. And then I think the most likely scenario in which Logan Thompson returns is going to be right here, the Sharks game. If you can see behind me, the Sharks game on March 30th. I think that's the most likely. You're going against a little bit lower level of a team in the Sharks. A little bit easier, hopefully speaking. And you give Logan Thompson an extra week to get fully prepared. If 23rd could be the soonest he returns, you give him an extra week, put him on the 30th. I think that's a pretty good timeline to look at. And then after that point, you have 13 games left. You're going to be down to 8 games. You split these games pretty evenly, or even a little bit under. And by the way, the last 8 games are tough for the Vegas Golden Knights. Maybe even the last 10. I mean, you got the Wild twice, Kings, Stars, Kraken twice. I mean, it's a tough stretch of games here. I'd expect Logan Thompson to return right here in this Sharks game. He'll rest for this Wild game, maybe both of them, depending on how he's feeling after returning. And then I could see he'll play at least one of these tough teams. The Kings, the Stars, or the Kraken. And depending how things are sitting with the playoffs, I could even see him playing 2 or 3 of these games. But I think the Sharks is the most likely timeline for Logan Thompson's return. So, with all that being said, I'm really excited to see Logan Thompson return to the Vegas Golden Knights, because he is a huge part of their success during the front part of the year. Of course, Adin Hill came in, Jonathan Quick, Brossoit. They've all had great stretches this year, but I think Logan Thompson, although maybe statistically at this current moment might not have the best numbers of the group of guys you have here, I think that Logan Thompson is still the number 1 goalie. And I've seen some stuff coming out on Twitter. I think the Locked On Golden Knights talked about this, whether Logan Thompson deserves to get a starting spot back right away, and I think it has to be. And let's pick this apart a little bit right here. And I know they did this, and I don't want to take too much from them, but a quick little 1-minute synopsis, if you may. Logan Thompson, incredible stats, deals with injury. That's something that happens consistently to goalies. You get injured, but then you come back and you normally get your spot right away. Normally you don't have to fight. Aiden Hill put up some great numbers, and I think Aiden Hill could fight for that number 1 spot with Logan Thompson. I think that's the most likely scenario if someone were to take the number 1 spot, would be Aiden Hill. But once again, those numbers were aided through the better half of the first part of the season by facing some lesser teams. Now, he showed some brilliant performances. I mean, absolutely great, and should be a number 1 goalie on a team, but maybe not the Golden Knights. So I think he'll compete with Logan Thompson. Excuse me. After that, Laurent Brossoit. Brossoit played 3 games. He looked very solid, but I just don't think he's better than Logan Thompson. I don't see enough in it. And with Jonathan Quick put on some great performances through these last 4 or 5 games that he's played, but consistently he's allowing goals late in the game. He's allowing teams to get back into the fold, and he's allowing games to get out of control. We just saw against the Flames. This was a tie game, and at one point, I think the start of the 3rd period, it was like a 1 or 2 goal game, and you end up losing by 5 because some of the goals that were getting left in were just horrible. But a lot of these games, Blues, Flyers, these games, and I think this Blues game might have been Yari's game, but the Flyers, the Lightning up here, Vegas had a little bit of a lead there, a 2-goal lead, and then it was aided by some of Jonathan Quick's play to make it a 1-goal game or a tie game. So I think Jonathan Quick, just because of what's happening late in the game, won't be fighting for the number 1 spot. Laurent Brossoit hasn't shown me quite enough. Aiden Hill, I think, is going to fight for it, but I think Logan Thompson's still that number 1 guy. But what do you guys think? Do you think Logan Thompson should be the number 1 guy when he comes back? How soon do you expect Logan Thompson to be returning to the ice? And the last question here, how many games do you think it's going to take for Logan Thompson to really get prepared? And do you think he's going to be able to return to the high-level play that he was at, or is there going to be a little bit of rust to knock off? Comment all that down below if you enjoy Vegas Golden Knights content or NHL playoffs content. Why not subscribe? It truly means the world to me, and I have a whole lot of content coming out just for you guys. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, like, and as always, I hope it taught something today. Hope it made you smile, hope it made you laugh. Some really important to me. Affects most day in a great way, because every single day can be great if you all just put in the effort. And as always, you guys all be safe out there.